Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my beginner's guide to Dark Souls. So, moving on quickly, just after Taurus Demon, what you're going to want to do is just keep on going, of course. So, just run over here. Of course, more barrels in here. You're going to want to smashy. So, smash these. You can actually roll into things to smash them quicker. I would recommend doing so. Oh, and our smashing has been rewarded with a large undead soul. So, come down here. Dragon ahead, they say. Yep, this looks like the bridge where that dragon flew off to. So, you can see there's, looks like scorch marks. So, what are we dealing with here? I see wings. Fire. Yep. If you go up further onto that bridge, that dragon can usually roast you in one hit. He also roasts all the enemies in one hit, so it's pretty useful. But, oh, the sun. So lovely. Let's head down here. Explore over here first. And there's a man standing down here. So let's talk to him.
Ah, hello. You don't look hollow, far from it. I am Solaire of Astora, an adherent of the Lord of Sunlight. Now that I am undead, I have come to this great land, the birthplace of Lord Gwyn, to seek my very own son. You find that strange? Well, you should. No need to hide your reaction. I get that look all the time.
So he's looking for his own son. See if he has anything else to say.
Aha. So I didn't scare you. I have a proposition, if you have a moment.
Sure, I have a moment.
The way I see it, our fates appear to be intertwined. In a land brimming with hollows, could that really be mere chance? So what do you say? Why not help one another on this lonely journey?
Help? Help is always appreciated.
This pleases me greatly. Well then, take this.
The White Sun Soapstone.
We are amidst strange beings in a strange land. The flow of time itself is convoluted, with heroes centuries old phasing in and out. The very fabric wavers, and relations shift and obscure. There's no telling how much longer your world and mine will remain in contact. But use this to summon one another as spirits, cross the gaps between the worlds, and engage in jolly cooperation. Of course, we are not the only ones engaged in this, but I am a warrior of the sun. Spot my summon signature easily by its brilliant aura. If you miss it, you must be blind.
Alright, so this is Solaire, and of course he has just told us that we can use his help to can summon him in our world if we need help. So we can summon him on several occasions during the game. So let's check out this item we picked up. This leaves your sign on the ground and allows you to be summoned by other people. If you're summoned by other people, you gain half the amount of souls they give. You cannot heal with your Estus, but you can heal with other items. So the only way you can be healed is if the host uses Estus to heal you. And if you defeat the boss with the host, you will gain half the amount of souls the host gained and a free humanity for defeating it. So it's very useful if you want to farm souls to just, or if you're having trouble with an area, just to drop your sign down and help other people with the area just to get a feel for it and how it goes. Make some extra souls. So let's see how this guy died. Yep, fire it looks like. And more fire. Yep, fire. So, probably be pretty scared of this dragon staring you down, but if you walk over here, he usually won't bother you till you get pretty close to him. So just head down this little pathway over here. You're going to want to keep going down. And you come to this ladder, and this is actually a kick ladder, so kick it down. And mount the ladder. Another skill that a lot of new players don't know, if you just press B on a ladder, you just slide down. A lot of people I see in videos are climbing down ladders. You just hit B, slide down. So we have a whole bunch of souls, so we're going to do some serious leveling, I think, here. Bump our vitality up to 14. And we'll get our endurance up to 15, and we'll leave it at that. We'll save some souls for later. It's good to save a bit of souls. Don't always spend all of them. You might need them, but if you're feeling that you're having trouble with an area, it's good to spend them all, because you could lose them, but if you're feeling bold, just holding on to them. You might need them for later. You never know. So you could go this way, and it is another way to bypass this area, but I'm going to show you the best way to get through this area. So come up here and run quickly across here, because that dragon will torch the area. Run into this corner, you'll be fine, and he'll roast all the enemies and give you some free souls. So if you just stand here for a while, nothing will happen. It won't appear. Nothing will appear. Nothing happens. The dragon will eventually come down here, and when he comes down here, you're going to want to run past him, which I'll show you in a few seconds when he comes down here. There he goes, and you just hold B and run. Just ignore those items for now, just run over here. And you're going to want to run into this area. So we can watch him from over here. You can see he's flying back up there, and he's actually taken off. So we wave bye to him. He's gone. So yeah, if you actually make it underneath him, he will fly away. He's not gone permanently. He does come back if you go through a loading screen and come back here. So do note that. He will come back and torch the bridge if you're running across it. So now that he's gone, we can safely go get these items. So Soul of a Nameless Soldier, which is a larger soul item than we've been coming across, and the Claymore. The Claymore is a great sword. It's actually one of my favorite weapons. I would normally be using it, but for the purpose of the playthrough, we're not going to use it right now. See, it has a decent scaling. It has a pretty high base damage. I actually don't have the strength to use it in one hand. Basically, Claymore is the same as it has the same moveset as the longsword, except slower and more powerful. So it does this attack, it does the thrust, it does the overhead, it does all of that. It's just slower and bigger. So if you want more power and you don't mind having a heavier weapon, you can use the Claymore. It's very similar to the longsword. So we're going to want to rest at this bonfire. We're humans, so we're going to use that free humanity we got to kindle this fire up to 10, just in case. It's also good to know that having a humanity active will increase your item find. It will increase your item find up to 10. So any more than 10 humanity will not increase your item find. Also, the first humanity increases your item find the most. So we'll see here, if you look over on the right over there, you can see my item discovery is 100. We're going to pop a humanity here. And as you can see, now my item discovery is at 150. Pretty big increase, a 50 increase. And as you can see here, if we pop a second humanity, it only brings us up to 158. So that first humanity does the most amount of item discovery. So if you're ever looking for items, at least have one humanity. We just have two just for show. So open this gate, which a lot of new players won't know how to open. It's because you got to run under the dragon to this bonfire. If you go that other way, there's usually some rats down there, and there's actually 3 of them, and they're quite hostile, so they will usually poison you, and that can lead to an early death and much frustration for new players, so it's always good to open up this gate as quick as possible. There's another Black Knight up these stairs. He's actually wielding a great sword and is much more powerful than the other one, so I would recommend coming back and fighting this guy when you have upgraded armor, because usually there's one of his attacks that will completely destroy your guard, no matter if you have full stamina or not at this level, so I wouldn't recommend fighting him. Most of his attacks will also send you flying, even his normal attacks, so I would be very cautious fighting him. Come up to this area, you can see there's a large boar creature over there, and you can see that we've actually managed to get the attention of his friend over there. He's coming towards us, but very slowly. So let's see if we can... Oh, yep, there he comes. So it's pretty useful that that guy actually pulls from that far, so just let him come over here. circle around him and miss the backstab, but that's okay. As you can see, it doesn't take as much damage. I think these guys are slightly more armored than in the Berg, since this is the Undead Parish. He drops a longsword, so if you don't have a longsword, you can pick them up off these enemies. Turn this corner, there's another spear user here, so same strategy, give him a kick. And yeah, he doesn't die from one thrust, so they're definitely slightly more powerful. He dropped a spear. If you want to use a spear, you can go ahead and use that. Cool thing about spears is you can use them from behind a shield and still attack. But we're not going to use the spear. It does take up more stamina when you use it with the shield up, however. So we're going to fight this guy here. He can be quite annoying because he has 2 archers shooting over there. Best way to handle this situation, since he's so slow, is to actually run over here and get shot by arrows multiple times. Get screwed up by targeting. And you're going to want to come over here and take out these guys, because they cause much more problems than the spear guy. You see, he's still over there screwing around. So if you don't know how to kick, a good way to get these guys to attack is to attack once and fail, and they'll usually try to use that opportunity to attack themselves. So we're going to heal up here. I'm going to take some of these items off my bar because they're slightly screwing me up here. So, as you can see here, we're at a pretty good vantage point. We can see down here, so we're going to shoot this guy with a crossbow too. See, he's Estus, so he's just healed. As you can see, shooting that boar is not doing very much. And my targeting is not working very well, so we're going to back up here. I'm almost dead. So over here and take a double sip. So yeah, this area can be quite annoying. Being more annoying to me mostly because my target won't target on that undead hollow there. There we go. There we go. Finally dead. Alright. Alright, so grab these items. This is our alluring skulls. What they do is they're basically... You throw them at the ground and enemies will be attracted to them. So you can cause enemies to run over to certain areas and you can run by them. You only get 4. A good reason why you get them is this guy down here. He's super armored. Takes a lot to kill. Can usually one-shot you at this level. You can backstab him pretty easily, but what I would recommend doing is manual aiming like this. And don't stand too close to the edge because you kind of move forward and just throw in a alluring skull. And that will actually get the boar's attention. And he will go over into the fire, and as you can see, it's doing quite a good amount of damage. So we're going to throw another one. And yep, he is actually dead. And this is an enemy that does not respawn, so you never have to worry about him again. So he's gone, and as you can see, we want to get to this gate. So if you remember, the character at the start said we want to get to the Undead Church, right? Well, we're in the parish, and that looks like a church, so we want to get through here, clearly. So we're gonna head down here, because this is the only way you're supposed to go. Over here, let him do his thing. As you can see, there's more hollows down here than meets the eye. So one stab will kill them. See if there's anyone else. Always look around when you come in a new area. Stab. Alright. And come over here. Some more hollows. A hollow. And there's an item down here, of course. Grab it. It is the mystery key. Let's see here. Reading keys, of course, is good to tell you where to go, but this one doesn't say much, except that it's a prison cell key, so who knows, maybe we'll come across a prisoner or a prison cell soon. Who knows? Well, I know. Anyway, moving on. We'll come up here. There are 2 hollows up here. Sometimes one of them will run down while you're fighting. They'll run in and attack. Of course, just do the normal stab strategy. They'll do their thing. These guys drop broken straight swords only, so don't expect any cool items to drop off these pink hollows. Run over here across this beam, grab the large soul. Run back. Let's go up this ladder. Alright, we're actually going to top off our health. I'm feeling pretty confident, so just going to top it off there. Go through this light, of course, be very cautious. Always means boss. It didn't go behind us, though, so it is not a boss. So we'll come over here, and we're going to encounter a new enemy here. This is a Balder Knight. There are two variations of the Balder Knight. There's one with a rapier, which is this one, and there is one with the Balder side sword. They're both quite dangerous. I find the rapier ones to be slightly more dangerous. The rapier ones can parry you, and that will ultimately lead to your death. They're also quite heavily armored, and not as much as the Black Knights, of course, but they don't have a crazy amount of poise, so they can be staggered easily, but we're going to try to get a backstab off on them. Yep. You don't want to get too close, though. Usually when they start to turn around, you're in backstab range, so you got to time it pretty well. These guys also do have Estus, so be very careful. They will try to heal. See, they do a decent amount of damage, even with just a little rapier. Yep. See, there you go. He's actually hits quite hard. So we're gonna drink, and we're in a corner over here, so we're gonna try to get out. It's not good to be in a corner. See, that stance right there. If we already hit him when he was doing that with his sword like that, it would actually cause us to be parried, and we would be one-shotted most likely. So we're just gonna wait for a perfect opportunity, since he does not seem to want to give it to us. So he's gonna go into a parry stance. They can be quite annoying. So if you two-hand your weapon, you sometimes lead to better fortunes like that. So he dropped Balder armor. It's actually pretty good armor. If you're looking for lighter heavy armor, it's pretty good to wear. I would recommend maybe trying that on. It looks pretty cool too. That guy's usually kind of difficult because you're fighting him in that narrow corridor, and there isn't much room to move him around, so be careful. He's guarding the Knight Shield, which is slightly better, I believe, in stats than this shield. No, it's actually, it has its one better stability, but its fire and lightning are slightly worse, so I do believe it's also much heavier, yeah. So you can choose which shield you want to. Knight Shield looks pretty cool, I guess. We're going to stick with our heater shield. So we're going to top off our health. Running low on Estus. Gotta be careful. Come over here. The spear guy's going to stab from long range for no reason. Thought I heard something. So this part can also be scary for new players. Come down here. See what this orange sign says. Knight ahead. Yes. So come out here and look down here, and there's another Balder Knight rushing us, so just run back here. Best fight him over here in this more open area than in that really, really tight corridor. This one is wielding a Balder side sword, and he will not try to parry us, but he does deal, I believe, much more damage on his attack. So we'll go for the backstab there. And we're going to get him as he's coming up. Yep. You can do that a lot of the times. As enemies are standing up, you can get them when, you know, they can't do much. There's also a spear guy down there, but like I said, they're very slow. So he's not even up here yet, really. Just give him a kick and a stab or two. So, come out here. So we're out to the side now. You can go down that way. I wouldn't recommend it right now. We'll go out there later. So as you can see, the church is there, and that does look like a bell tower. So it looks like we're on the right track. So come down here. There's 3 enemies here. This guy will usually come before the other guy, so you can bring him up here if you want to backstab him, which I did. Sometimes the enemies will also time their stabs with when you come out of a backstab. Another thing I forgot to mention is probably pretty obvious. When you are backstabbing an enemy, you are completely invincible. So it's very useful if you're fighting multiple enemies. So get behind this guy who's giving us quite a big opening to stab, and just give him a stab. So he's dropped a Hollow Soldier helm, so pretty decent helm, but we're gonna stick with the one we got. Let's see how Buddy here died. He's probably fighting them hollows, and yep. Gotta be careful there, buddy. Alright, so we're gonna head down here and see what these messages says. You need humanity, blacksmith ahead. Most of these messages will say blacksmith ahead. Can't really hide it. This is blacksmith area. Of course, you can hear his banging by now. Blacksmiths, of course, are the only people in the game that can upgrade your gear, so it is vital to find them and to not kill them in any way, because they are vital NPCs. If without them, you can't progress very far within the game without extreme difficulty. So we're going to rest at this bonfire. So we're now here. We're going to kindle it up to max. And we're going to use some soul items. So we're going to put them on our bar to make it faster. So we got 3 soul items to use. Alright, so we actually have a good amount of souls now. We have almost 7,000 souls, so we're going to go and talk to this blacksmith and see what kind of upgrades we can afford with this many souls.
Well, you must be a new arrival. I'm Andre of Astora. If you require smithing, then speak to me.
Alright, so he's pretty basic NPC. Talking to him won't really give you much info about things.
Most weapons and armor are mighty sturdy indeed, but every hunk of metal has its breaking point. If you noticed your rapidity running low, it's time to repair. You can ask a blacksmith like myself, or do it on your own with a grindstone. The nice thing about weapons, they never betray you, so pay them a little respect, eh?
Alright, so that's pretty useful tip, actually. Weapons do break in this game, so it's good to repair them. You don't want to be fighting a boss and have your weapon smashed to pieces and you hit for obscenely low damage all of a sudden. So we're going to learn his gesture, hurrah, which is a different form of joy, I guess. So we're going to go to reinforce. As you can see, it takes Titanite shards to reinforce weapons. And when you reinforce a weapon, it increases its base damage. See, it goes from 80 to 88. And as you can see, that plus 18 is the damage I get from scaling. The scaling damage actually goes up to 21. That's because the scaling is relative to the weapon's base damage, so don't think when you're just upgrading a weapon it's only, going up 8 damage or something. It goes up a lot more depending on how high your stats are. So it requires Titanite shards, so you can actually buy them for 800 souls from him. So we're going to buy as many as we can. We'll go with 7 for now. And we're going to reinforce our longsword. So we now have a longsword plus 4.
Don't get you.
So it's quite a strong weapon. It will do good damage now, let's see. So it has 112 base damage now, and it does 26 extra damage from my scaling. So it does much more damage than it did before. It's a very good weapon. You can upgrade your shield if you want to. I'm not going to, however. It does increase, or decrease, sorry, the amount of stamina you lose from blocking, of course. But I'm not going to find a huge use for it right yet, since I'm not going to be holding on to the shield much after this next boss anyway. So, after you've done with him, just head back up there. There's another doorway down there. Actually, I think I'm going to go through it now. Like I said, it's good to explore. Sometimes exploring can lead to an early demise, though. Just be careful about that. So we're going to run over here to this gate type area. See what's going on over here. So, yeah. What's that about, buddy?
Oh, forgive me. I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegmeyer of Katarina. Quite honestly, I've run flat up against a wall. Or a gate, I should say. The thing just won't budge. No matter how long I wait. And oh, have I waited. So, here I sit, in quite a pickle, weighing my options, so to speak.
Alright, so this is Sigmar of Katarina. He is wearing the Katarina armor that does look slightly onion-like. It is really cool armor. He's waiting for the gate to open, but gate's not open, so we can't really do much for him now.
Still closed. Still closed.
Still closed. Still closed. Anyway, we'll catch up with him later. Maybe we can open this gate for him somehow. Who knows? Touch Bloodstain. Someone was fighting the Onion Man? Yeah, you don't want to attack NPCs, buddy. They actually hit quite hard, and if you attack an NPC accidentally, there is another NPC in the game that can reset NPC hostility. He will not revive dead NPCs, and it does cost a decent amount of souls to do this, so I would not recommend hitting an NPC in any circumstances. And if you hit that NPC, you're pretty much screwed. So I would not recommend hitting him. I'll point him out when we get to him. So yeah, always good to never hit an NPC. Unless of course they're attacking you first. That's a different story. So we're gonna head back out here. Of course the enemies have respawned, you know. I won't mention that much after this, so I'm assuming you guys know this. So let's see how much damage we do now. We do 189 on a backstab. And we can actually kill them with a stab for 144. So we do great damage now. So let's just wait. And a nice stab. So we're going to head on back over to that area that I said to not go through before. As you can see, this Baldur Knight has respawned, so see if oh no, we've got his attention, so come on, man. Destroyed. Yep, having an upgraded weapon can really help you, as you can see. Can turn a lot of the things that were slightly difficult into pretty trivial things. So you're going to want to come out here. And as you can see, we're directly on the other side of the gate from before. And this hollow is here. So we're going to take him out. He gave us his back pretty easily there. I'm going to grab this item. The basement key. So let's see what this basement key does. Opens the narrow passage heading below at the far face of the great bridge in the Undead Burg. So the far face, that would be where the Sun Man is. I do remember there's a door over there. The lower Undead Burg is a treacherous place. Do not turn your back on the willy thieves or the wild dogs who serve the Capra demon. So there you can see the game giving you a preview of what's to come. Willy dogs and thieves, that doesn't sound fun at all. So there's an item over here. This is the Halberd. It is a very good weapon. I'm not sure if I have the stats to wield it. Let's take a look. No, it requires 16. It's a very good weapon. It's a very long range weapon, has really high base damage. It's good for newer players who are having trouble and want to stay at a distance from an enemy. The only trouble is if you miss an enemy with the Halberd, it causes a kind of stagger effect on your character, and it makes your character look like he can't wield the item properly. But if you actually connect an attack with an enemy, it will not do that animation. So if you walk up to that stairs, you'll actually pull this Baldur Knight here from pretty far away. So circle around him. He gave us a little jab for doing so, and stab him in the back. So that backstab actually one-shots him. Very good to know. So these Baldur Knights don't pull as easy. What you're going to want to do is come in here and look here. And there's a Rapier Baldur Knight there. And bring him out. And as you can see, these guys are a lot easier to fight if you have a lot more room to run around them. Because before, you had that little narrow corridor. Not saying they're super easy enemies. Baldur Knights are quite difficult for new players. It's a two-hander weapon here. Beast mode, and Beast mode engage wins. take a sip of the Estus, and come in here. And it's safe to come in here now since there's no other knights. So come in here. And a nice backstab. Alright, so you can see here that there's a big fellow over there. This fellow does not respawn, so do not worry. There's also a caster right there. Be very careful. He will make fighting that guy extremely annoying. As you can see, just narrowly missed me there. What you're going to want to do is make sure those hollows are cleared out from the first area, and grab his attention and just, as you can see, he hits very slowly but very hard, and just bring him out here. This leads to the area where those first 3 hollows are. So just bring him out here. And you use the same tactics you used on the Taurus Demon, except I'm going to get tagged there. So see, he hits very slowly. Takes up a lot of stamina up. So yeah, just bait and attack. Run in, do a running attack. I may have not explained how to do a running attack. It's very simple. While you're running, just hit the right bumper and you will attack while running. And as you can see, after a few hits, he goes down and he does not respawn. Very useful. And he drops a Titanite shard. So, I'm going to go up here. And as you can see, he was guarding an item. This item is a Firekeeper Soul. What this item does is upgrades your Estus Flask to make it so it increases the, it heals more health when you use it. Every Firekeeper Soul increases it by about 100 extra health, so you're going to want to find as many of these as possible. Do not use it. You actually have to give it to a Firekeeper to have your Estus Flask upgraded, which we will do a bit later. This guy can be a problem. Of course, he's a rapier in a tight corridor down the stairs, so it's kind of a triple whammy there. So just bring him down here. Give him a nice stab. He actually doesn't die from one stab, but another slash will take him down. So head on up here. You're going to want to be cautious at this part. As you can see, Mr. Mage is doing a dance through there. What that does is actually increases the damage of him and everything around him by a lot. I'm not sure the exact number. It might be 50% for about a minute. So that turns even the weakest enemies into huge problems. But what you can do is you can just stand here and he'll get pissed off and he'll actually run over here because he's actually in a room full of hollows. Probably about 10 or 11 hollows, and they will usually bum rush you and kill you, especially if they're buffed. So you're just going to want to bring him back here. And try to cast a spell, and that will be the end of him. He hits quite hard when he's buffed, but he doesn't have a lot of health, so you can take him out pretty quickly. You can wait out the buff if you want. As you can see, there's hollows in here, and they have the crazy glowing around them. That means they're buffed. So what I'd recommend do is pull them in the hall and use your stab technique. As you can see, that these hollows hit quite a bit harder due to the buff. And as you can see, there's a crap ton of them. I've killed a lot, and there's still a lot behind. So give them a nice thrust. Nice thrust. If you use the halberd in this area or a spear, it makes this super easy to do. You can just stab them down the corridor. Give him a thrust. Okay. Alright, I just did a jump attack there. I never actually explained how to do that either. It's the same thing as a kick, so the forward and right bumper, except you do forward and right trigger. And you do a jump attack, which takes up more stamina, but usually does a lot more damage. So if you're having trouble with some enemies, you can jump attack them for much more damage. It does leave you open for slightly longer, though, so be very careful. Do not use it don't use it liberally. You can get yourself killed pretty easily jumping around like that. So just to reiterate, just do that and get some pretty good damage. Come in here. There's a soul item in here. Large soul of a nameless soldier. So that's the biggest soul we've picked up so far. And for good reason. We've just fought through some horrible trials. By the way, that caster fellow does not respawn either, but the hollows will. And come over here, and as you can see, there's another Balder Knight and another narrow corridor. Well, not as narrow, but another corridor, so pull him back into this room, of course. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but these enemies will try to Estus if you let them, so be careful. I just picked up the Balder Gauntlets, another piece of the Balder set, pretty good set, like I said. Recommend trying it out if you're feeling like a Balder. So head on over here. You can see light through here. This is special, of course. So head on over here, and this looks like a prison cell, doesn't it?
Oh, still human, are you? Then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse.
Sure, let's open you up. Pretty sure that's, yep, mystery key. Alright, so what now?
Thank you. Yes, sincerely. I am Knight Lautrec of Karim. I truly appreciate this, and I guarantee a reward. Only later.
Alright, so this is Lautrec, and he has guaranteed us a reward, so we'll catch up with him later. So, in true Dark Souls style, we're going to keep on exploring. Treasure ahead, always good to know. There's a body in that barrel. It's pretty morbid. So, we get an extra humanity here. If you need a humanity and you don't know where to get one, there's a free humanity there. A lot of people don't know about that. So, we're going to run back over here. A lot of people might ask, how are you running and turning the stick at the same time? I actually claw my controller, which, if you're not sure what that means, I'll put a link in the description to a picture. It's kind of a technique where you can hold the B button and use the C stick at once. I learned it from other video games, and it just kind of carried over into this one. It's very useful for running around enemies and keeping your camera on them. It's kind of a complicated way to hold the controller, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. It's kind of uncomfortable at first, but I don't know, I just kind of do it. I don't think I hold my controller any other way now, to be honest. So come up here, and as you can see, there's a fog gate up there. But what we're going to actually do is turn around and go back. So remember how to get up here? So just roll down here, you won't die. Fall damage in this game is calculated by percentage, so if you have a small health character, it doesn't mean you're going to lose, you know, a lot more health, because a high level character with more health dropped, he'll actually lose, say he had 1800 health, he'd lose about, let's say 700 health, where if you had 700 health, you'd lose maybe 200 health. It's calculated by percentage, not straight up damage. So go down this elevator, and it will lead you to a familiar area. We are actually back at Firelink Shrine. So, we're going to head on back down here, and I'm going to show you where the Firekeeper is. I should have showed you at the first video, but I forgot actually. So, if you come over here, you can head down these stairs. And actually, Mr. Golden Knight, Lautrec, is down here, so let's talk to him first.
Ah, hello there. I have your reward. Please, accept it. I am grateful to you for freeing me.
Whoa, buddy.
For you? Well, let's not be greedy now.
I don't think I've heard a laugh more evil than that. So we're going to keep our eye on this fellow, even though he's giving us a reward. So let's check that out. Sunlight Medal. Engraved with the symbol of the sun, it is the ultimate honor, awarded in those who summon the Warrior of Sunlight and complete a goal. Very useful for people who are in the Warrior of Sunlight Covenant, which we'll touch on possibly more later. So here's a firekeeper. As you can see, she's keeping the fire. She's underneath the shrine. She does not actually say anything, but you can reinforce your flask, which we will do. So as you can see, we now have an Estus Flask +1, and it will heal us for much more than it did before. So we're actually going to head back over to the bonfire, but I'm going to cut it out, me running back over there, or bonfire, blacksmith. I'm going to cut out running over there. It'll take a while, so I'll meet you guys over there. Oh, one more thing. Do not rest at this bonfire. It'll respawn all the enemies up there, and it's going to be a hassle. So I will see you guys back at the blacksmith. Alright, so we are back at the blacksmith. And what we're going to do is use these souls that we've gathered, and we're going to get our sword up to +5. So you can get our sword up +5 there, and this is the max you can upgrade a weapon right now. You can't get any further without a bigger ember. So we have a max power sword for what we can do, and as you can see, you can easily get a weapon to +5 without. I haven't farmed anything. I've just been killing the enemies and picking up the items. I haven't killed enemies extra. I haven't respawned to reset the enemies just to kill them. I've just been playing. So we're going to pop this soul item we've got, this large soul, and that gives us 1,000 souls. Very nice. And we're going to do some final leveling up here. Get our endurance up to 16 and pop our dex up to 17. A bit more damage. So we're looking pretty good here. So what level are we now? Sorry, didn't check. Level 16. Pretty good level for this area, I'd say. So let's head on over back up to the area where I turned around, up to where that fog gate was. I'm sure you guys know how to get there. I showed it before, so I'm going to cut out, and I will see you guys there. Alright, so we are back at the area near the fog gate. As you can see, my health has been taken down a bit by the Rapier Knight and the Hollows, and I'll demonstrate the Estus Flask. Before it wouldn't have healed us to full, but because of the +1, it actually does heal us to full now. So you can see upgrading your Estus Flask is very important. So if you come up here, there are summon signs here. This is a player here. But this summon sign here is actually Knight Solaire, the man who told us he would help us. You can summon him to help you with this fight, and he will greatly reduce the difficulty of it. I don't recommend summoning him on a first playthrough. Like I said, I don't recommend summoning anyone on a first playthrough. It just kind of dumbs down the experience. And another thing players don't know, if you go and talk to Lautrec down at Firelink Shrine, you can actually summon him as well to help you fight this boss. And if you summon both Lautrec and Solaire, you can basically put the controller down and go to the bathroom and come back and the boss will be dead. So it's just not fun. We're not going to summon anyone. I'll show you guys how to do this without summons. Of course, I did say I would do that. I haven't upgraded anything but my sword, just like I said, and we're going to head on through here. So as you can see, we're on the roof now, and there's a tower up there, and we're surrounded by many crazy creatures, so ominous foretelling. And let's head over here, and I'll be switching to post-commentary now. Now, note that during this boss, you're supposed to start off with gold pine resin, but I actually forgot to put the gold pine resin on my hotbar. And you can see here I'm kind of freaking out a little bit, trying to get my gold pine resin on my bar. And he's beating the shit out of me. Almost dead here. This is actually kind of a sloppy kill of the gargoyles. It goes to show even these gargoyles can cause problems even if they're high-level players, if you don't, well, high-level experienced players, even if you don't handle them in the right situation. The main thing for them is you're going to want to stay relative to their back. You can usually stagger them with a few hits. I was trying to stagger them. They weren't staggering, so you can't always rely on it. So you can see I'm getting my ass tore up here. This is a pretty sloppy kill. It is good though, you probably will have a pretty sloppy kill yourself, so this just shows you that you can take a beating pretty well and come out on top. I actually got stuck in the corner here, and that's the main issue here. Thought I was going to die for sure. Caused me to get screwed up. I probably could have landed the killing blow on that other gargoyle if that corner thing didn't happen. So you can see me here trying to get back and heal. You have a huge area to fight them, so just move back and heal. Try not to get yourself into a corner, any corner, because as you can see, it quickly leads to you getting destroyed like I am here, even though I'm not in a corner. So just don't be overzealous. Don't try to, oh, my weapon buff is going to run out, I need to get those hits in. No, just wait it out. If the gargoyle is down to about, under half, it's not going to take much more hits. You can also cut off this one's tail by getting behind it and attacking it, but I decided not to do it. It's not difficult, but it's just not very necessary. The tail axe isn't that good of a weapon in my opinion, so I didn't bother with it. The heater shield blocks 70% of fire damage, so you can use it to somewhat effectively block the fire. This fight, I kind of got bit in the ass for not upgrading my shield, and that's part of the problem here. I was using up way too much stamina blocking. And you can see here the first gargoyle is down, and I'm still having a little bit of trouble, even with the one gargoyle. I was getting a little overzealous here, trying to end the fight. So, just try to stay strafe around them. If you're at a fast movement speed, this fight is much easier. The slower you move, the more difficult this fight is. And yeah, just like that, using your resins, you can defeat this boss even with screwing up immensely. And we'll give a nice cheer here. We've defeated the bell gargoyles. So, bell gargoyles, that would mean they were guarding a bell, wouldn't it? I think it would. So, I'm just going to climb up this ladder. It's a pretty long ladder. Good to know if you're coming back from this way, don't drop down. It's pretty sure it is a fatal fall. There's an item you can get later in the game that actually checks whether things are fatal fall, but we don't have any of those yet. And we're at a bell, and we're gonna ring the first bell. And there we go. In a short time, the first bell has already been rung. And we're going to leave off the episode here, and I will see you guys next time.